Good morning, my dear friends. So, first of all, I would like to thank Father John Brito, the director of Kalvisolai, for taking this beautiful initiative of taking the Salesian educational system to all the teachers. So, I have tried my level best in this PowerPoint presentation on the topic the relevance of the Salesian education today. And there are so many educational institutions around us, but there is a difference in the Salesian institution, and I am sure the teachers will be able to vouch for what I say. Every Salesian institute is something very, very different. The experience that the young teachers and the young boys and girls go through is totally different from what they have in the other educational institutes. So I have in this PowerPoint presentation tried to enumerate the present pandemic situation, that is Corona, and young people's problems and their challenges, and some of the sins of the teachers that we have, because we too have certain limitations which we can correct easily, and what is the specificity or a special characteristics of being in a Salesian institution are special about being a Salesian teacher. So that's what I have tried to give it in the my presentation. So all the best for the session, and I'll be happy if you have some questions and doubts. We'll have another session by which I'll be able to clarify and answer. So once again, thank you very much, Father Brito, and all the teachers for this wonderful listening. May God bless all of us to serve the young people who are given to our care, to our guidance. Have a nice day. All the best. Give me, Divine Master, a sincere love for my students and a deep respect for each one's unique gifts. Help me to be a faithful and devoted teacher, with my eyes on the good of those I serve. May I impart knowledge humbly, listen attentively, collaborate willingly, and seek the lasting good of those I teach. May I be quick to understand, slow to condemn, eager to affirm and forgive. I seek your blessings as I start another day. I ask you to bless me and my students and our dreams and our hopes. May we learn from the wisdom of the past. May we learn from life from one another. May we, above all, learn from your guidance. So, my dear friends, before entering into the real session, I would like you to understand the present situation. Okay, all of us know that we are in a very, very difficult times. Okay, we are in the time of pandemic. Though we have advanced so much in scientific inventions, but a small virus which we cannot see has put the entire world into our house. It has locked us all into our homes. And we are in troubled times, so to say, a time of fear, a time of confusion and hopelessness. We don't know what is going to happen next, because every day the newspapers and the televisions come out with so many datas and informations about this corona, and we are in a hopeless situation. Everything at its peak now: corona, political scams, deaths, and we also see a kind of a religious intolerance at its peak. I don't like to speak about any particular religion, but we see people fight with each other, destroy each other on the basis of religion. And we see a kind of a poor versus rich divide at its peak, that the rich can afford to have anything they want, but the poor cannot even afford for a decent mask to protect themselves from corona. And we are in a situation of emergency of polarization. I mean, people trying to have different ideology, like one language, one civil code, and one education policy for the entire country. The pros and cons I'm not here to discuss, but I'm only trying to give you the kind of a emergency situation that we are facing, and we also see a kind of a social injustice at its peak. Okay, we see lots of killing, and the rich move away, getting paying the lump sum to the authorities and escape, and the poor are the ones who are really suffering. Even at the education level, we feel a kind of injustice at its peak. The rich is afford to get the best education, and the poor, who are not able to get the education. Our people and our youngsters have lost hope in religious institutions. It is very, very clear. And they have lost hope in democracy and in politics and politicians also. Because the number of scams that we see, we have really lost hope in the democracy, whether these leaders will be able to do anything good for us. And we have advanced in scientific inventions, and yet we are helpless in front of a tiny virus, which is a fact today. See the amount of tension and the amount of suffering people are going through because of this tiny virus, corona. And we are helplessly watching the death roll due to the COVID-19, as if watching a cricket score every day. We see district-wise, state-wise score being displayed at the TV. And my dear friends, we are at the point of no turning back. We don't know whether the schools, whether the colleges will come back to its normalcy, whether we will have a normal lifestyle once this pandemic gets over. And we are at a point of no turning back. And nature is reclaiming its space slowly. Nature has slowly put us all inside the house. All the religious places are locked down, and nature is reclaiming its space slowly. So where are we heading? All of us are Salesian teachers who are working in the Salesian institution. Where are we heading? We are heading towards a dream. Okay? We are here to dream the impossible dream, which is marching to hope the future with lots of good and great things to happen. We just hope that everything will go on well. The story of a Salesian education is the story of one such a dream, and one such right moment is now and today. Don Bosco was a simple, ordinary boy from a poor background, and he had a big dream of educating the poor and orphan children. In the past, there have been many who have committed themselves to realizing the dream mapped out by Don Bosco and Maria Mazzarello in their day. So we have a beautiful plan given by our beloved saint and founder Don Bosco. Who are the Salesians? Some of the teachers, though you work in a Salesian institution, you may not understand the word Salesians. The word Salesian stands in need of clarification. It comes from Sales of St. Francis de Sales, a beautiful saint. This saint is a saint of sweetness, the saint of powerful missionary drive, the saint with a deep Christ-likeness, and certainly one who loved souls. Just because Don Bosco found this saint, Francis de Sales, to be a very, very sweet and gentle saint, he wanted him to be the model for our educational system. And Father Christy must have explained to you about the system of Don Bosco. So let's go on to the next. As you are teachers getting ready to enter into the teaching ministry, you must know, my dear teachers, the problems and the challenges of the youth today. Without knowing their world, without knowing their situation, we will not be able to do justice. And every time we go without kind of a preparedness, the whole thing bounces back to us. So it is good that we have a kind of an understanding about their problems, their challenges today. Today young people have clashes with religion because they don't believe in religion anymore. Young people do not wish to accept things as they are. They ask for clarification. They ask for proofs. There are young people who do not believe in the concept of religion at all. They simply say, Father, leave us. Okay, we believe in some superpower, that's all. You call it as a religion. Don't disturb us. We are okay and we are happy. And these young people are governed by principles of science. They wish to do things as they please, and they believe in their own intuitions. Okay, they're saying, we are youngsters and we are adults. Leave us. Let us experience by ourselves. Why are you forcing things on us? And this is the kind of a thought process that young people have today. And these people who have little religious minded young people, they are ridiculed by the society and their own families, tend to treat them outcasts. Okay, if someone is very, very pious and someone is very, very holy and someone is very, very religious minded, today young people mock at them, and sometimes they are treated as outcasts. He's a saint, he's a goody goody boy, she's a goody goody girl. So if people are religious minded, they are being ridiculed. Either they are too secular or too fanatic. Youngsters today, if you find all those young people who don't believe in God, either they are too secular, that means they don't want to believe in any religious institutions, or they are too fanatic. You look into the religious atrocities done in India and in Tamil Nadu, you find young people from the age of 16 to 24 engaged in mob lynching and killing the innocent people, or destroying the religious places. It is all young people who are into this. So they are too secular or too fanatic. And there is a kind of a growing materialism, my dear friends, because the expectations of the society is such that if you have money, you are treated as someone very, very powerful, and you are someone who is very influential. So they say that to be a respectable person, you need money in the society. And the society projects rich as power people, well-mannered, trustworthy and decent. Those who have money are treated as very powerful and well-mannered people. And people are ready to do anything for money. Today, young people, if you look into the social media, luckily, thanks be to God, this TikTok has been banned. The young people are ready to do anything for the sake of money to become popular. Okay, things are cared as human being, and people are used as things. And they're just kind of a Epicurean or a kind of a materialistic attitude, that as long as you are useful to me, I try to talk to you and relate with you. Once you are not useful to me, I just throw you out like a thing. That's all. And today young people are want of money. Okay, they want cell phone, they want all electronic gadgets, they want to spend time in the malls, they want to spend time in the restaurants, they like to go out and enjoy, and abuse of social media for the fame and money. Just to get that money, young people are ready to sacrifice anything, and they are ready to sacrifice their value system for the sake and want of money. And there is another side, a kind of a parental pressure. Okay, parents of most youngsters want them to pursue academic careers. If someone wishes to do something different, they are ridiculed and suppressed. I have seen in Tirupattur School of Excellence, some parents would like to put their children in all the activities in the school. They want the children to get first rank in the class. They want them to put them in the vocal singing. They want the child to learn Western dance. They want the child to learn karate. They want the child to get into yoga, and they want everything that the child should learn. And this kind of a pressure makes the child go sometimes out of their mind and get disturbed, and they are under stress. And the kind of a practice of comparison among few teachers and few parents, it provokes youngsters to go to any extreme level to prove that he or she is better than the other. And they say, see, look at that child, look at this child, he is so bright, you are so dull. And the kind of a pressure, it makes the child to do anything for the sake of doing better than the other. And they are under pressure to do better and compete with each other. They are doing anything and everything to compete with the neighbor. And for youngsters today, there is a confusion about moral values, my dear teachers and my dear parents, because they are confused. Confusion with regard to what they learn and what they observe. Okay, something is taught in the classroom, something else they observe outside. So they are wondering what is right and what is wrong, which one should I follow. And there is a kind of a gender inequality. Okay, sometimes they say at homes they simply go on supporting the boys, and sometimes they will put down the girls. In some families they praise and put the girls in front row and put the boys down. So any kind of gender equality disturbs the children. There is an effort to give some recognition to transgenders today. That's okay. That is another topic. And among the young people, they have a kind of a attitude that sex is just reduced to biological need. Okay, I'm not talking about the college students. Even the 7th, 8th, 9th students have knowledge about the sex, and for them it just they just have an idea that it is only a biological need, and they are questioning us, why are you giving a moral attachment to this? Okay, it is just a biological need like any other animals or any other living beings that have a need. We too have a need. Why are you putting a moral tag to it? And there is a kind of a suicidal attitude, my dear friends, among the young people, which is true. During this pandemic, during this lockdown, nearly, according to me, I hope I'm not exaggerating, more than 10 school children have committed suicide for various reasons. Either they are disturbed with the online classes, or they are not able to cope up with the online classes, or they are scared of the NEET, and they are scared of the 10th and 12th results. And some of the students committed suicide just because they were not given the smartphones for online classes. So many things for which they have committed suicide. It is a fact, because they are depressed. The depression that they have, the peer pressure to do better they face, and the financial problems at home, and the fear of failures, okay, make the boys and girls to have this suicidal tendency. It is strong in them. The next one is so many kind of fears that young people go through today. Okay, fear of falling in love, fear of friendship, fear of the external self that they have, fear of their physical structure, fear of losing in the examinations, or a fear of coping up with the future. They have so many fears. And they also have this problem of identity crisis. They really wonder who they are. Okay, they are not able to accept themselves as they are. And because of that, they have a kind of an identity crisis. And sometimes they see this unjust social system. At least according to me, more than 3 girls have committed suicide because of this NEET exam, because they think that it is a kind of an unjust social system by which they will not be able to clear the NEET exam. It's just an example. I'm not here to say whether NEET is good or bad, but people have got, young boys and girls have this problem. And the impact of media, okay, media shows something and we tell them at home in the school something else. The value system that we teach is totally different from what they see in the media, especially the social media and the movies and the televisions. And they have a problem, the lack of role models. Okay, they don't discuss with parents their problems and their worries. They don't have the confidence to discuss their problems and worries with the class teachers. Instead, they try to look for answers among their friends, or they look for answers in the Google, which is a dangerous thing. And we find a kind of a problem of substance abuse among the young people. Have you not heard young people using unwanted things in the classroom or outside the classroom? Young boys and girls get into drinks. They get into doping, that means drugs. It is there. Let us not close our eyes and say that the problem doesn't exist. It does exist among the young people. And you find early maturity. Today, young boys and girls know better than what we knew when we were young people. Okay, about sex, about the world, everything, they have better knowledge. And many young people go through this problem of FOMO, fear of missing out. They always like to be in a noisy background. They always like to be in a group. They always like to be in a social setting. They don't like to be alone. And this fear of missing out often puts them under stress. And these are the problems and problems of the young people. So this is the problem of young people, and there is also some sins of the teachers which aggravates the problem of the young people for a better learning. And they have their own problems. We teachers also have certain problems. I have put down few things listening to the young people, what you don't like among the teachers, or what could be better if teachers are given a chance to change their style. I asked few young people, these are the sins according to them that we teachers commit. Number one, they say that we are unconvinced about our vocation to be teachers. My dear teachers, teaching profession is not for earning money. Basically, it is a vocation. This word vocation has a specific meaning. That is, it is not vocation, is a kind of a call given by God Himself, whichever God you believe in. God gives vocation only to few people. Okay, He can give job, that's a different thing, but vocation is a specific role of a teacher that is called by a higher power, that is God, for a higher purpose, that is called teaching. So if you only know that I have come here, okay, I'll be happy if they pay me well. More than getting a payment, having the attitude that I have come here to serve and teach and build the future nation, and that will be the best thing. So let us be convinced about our vocation to be teachers, not as people who have come here for wages. And number two, the tragedy of divided commitment. Okay, where do your priorities lie? Okay, sometimes these teachers, some teachers, okay, I am paid so much, I will do only so much for this work. When I go home, I will be a mother, I will be a wife, and I don't like to think about or don't like to prepare my classes. If I come to classes, I will prepare and take. Otherwise, I have no connection with the teaching. I am paid this amount of salary, so I will only work for that. So this is a kind of a divided commitment. My dear teachers, divided commitment will not work among the young people. If you are a teacher in the classroom, and if you are a teacher even in your home, for the children to contact you, to speak to you, to discuss with you their problems and their tensions and worries, there you make a difference. And then there is a kind of a love-hate relationship between the teachers. If the children don't perform well, the teachers create guilt feeling in the children as bad boys and bad girls and irresponsible students. If someone is able to do the homework, we say that he is a good boy, responsible boy, very disciplined boy. If some boy or a girl is not able to do, we brand them as bad boys and bad girls and irresponsible students, because we don't know what they go through at home. We don't know what kind of problems they go through within themselves. Okay, we need to build up a kind of a relationship that is a relationship of a father and a mother and a brother and a sister. And as usual, there is a generation gap. All over the world, there is a dichotomy between the teacher and the students. Such dichotomy exists in all societies. How? See, sometimes the students are far superior in knowing information, and we only have the knowledge of the subject matter, but children are far superior, and their world is different, and their thinking pattern is totally different, and their discussions and the subjects of discussion is totally different. But if there is a generation gap, whatever you teach, nothing will go into their head until and unless you get into their world and teach them from their perspective. The teaching will be more effective and more meaningful. And love of mediocrity. Students will really understand whether a teacher is sincerely involved in teaching. Okay, if they know that you are only teaching for the sake of teaching and you are not interested in them, and you are just mediocre in your dealing, that means you just do your duty for the sake of duty given to you, and you really don't involve yourself sincerely, they will really understand. And if your love is mediocre, divided, kind of an acting, they will not listen to you. A teacher who does not love the children will not make any sense to your teaching. If your teaching is in a mediocre way, they will not be able to listen anything. And then absence of effective guidance. Okay, the present day society is experiencing a gradual disintegration of basic institutions such as religion, educational system, which once provided guidance and model to the society in general and to the youth in particular. The effective guidance only we can give, my dear teachers. If you want to make a difference, if you want to make the children change, only you can do for a better thing. There are so many things today, so many social media, okay, so many in television channels, so many YouTube channels are there to give guidance, but I don't think they are effective guidance. Only a true teacher with sincere love and with sincere affection can make a change in the student's life by effective guidance. And finally, a godless education. If you don't teach to the children as a person, one who believes in God, okay, a person, one who is a pious, responsible, religious-minded person's teaching will be different from a person who does not believe in God. Until and unless you experience this God experience in your own house, the God experience in your way of worship, to any God that you worship, I don't mind. But if you are truly a sincere person, one who has a God experience, one who has experienced God's love and affection, will certainly be a different teacher in the classroom. You will just transmit what you have. You cannot transmit to children something which you don't have. Until and unless you experience God's love and affection, you cannot teach with love and affection. So personally, I request all the teachers to be a godly person within themselves, so that they make a difference between what is God and what is world, what is godly and what is worldly. As Salesian teachers, so what is the practical tips? So to be a Salesian teacher, you need to have certain traits. There are so many teachers who are teaching in government schools and other management schools, but to be a Salesian teacher, you need to make a difference in the following things. I request, even if you are not listening to the first part, I request all the teachers to pay attention to this. If you are working in a Salesian setup, if you are working in a Don Bosco school, you need to make a difference with the following things. Number one, you are called to be signs of God's love among the young people. As I told you, you should be a person who is spiritual, who enjoys God's love. Okay, whatever may be your religion, whatever God you may worship, but be sincere to that. When you are sincere to that, your behavior will show a difference. The conviction of God's love helps the young people to become upright and honest children, worthy of God and worthy of our nation. So, if you teach the children to be a godly person one who has a fear of God, certainly the basic aim of Salesian education is to create upright and honest children. Okay, upright and honest children, worthy of God. That means they fear God and worthy of our nation. So we should make them good religious-minded people, and we must make them responsible citizens of this country. And that is the basis of the Salesian education. So all your teaching should lead to these basic two principles, that is to create our young people, students, upright and honest children, worthy of God and worthy of our nation. And our Salesian school has to be a model school, different from the other schools. And some of the teachers, you may know the difference. You would have worked in some other management schools, and now you are working in a Salesian school. You know how things work and how things function here. The Salesian school, the Don Bosco school, is an environment that offers unconditional acceptance to young people. You would certainly see boys and girls flocking to the principal's office. You will see boys and girls flocking to the staff room. You will see boys and girls freely coming and wishing you, freely coming and dealing with you. This is the difference that you see in a Don Bosco school, a Salesian school. And a Don Bosco school or a Salesian school is a place where they are respected as persons, worthy of respect and esteem. We don't treat them just because they belong to a different social background, because they are rich, or because they are socially from a different higher status. No. We treat and respect every person as persons, no matter what is their social background. It is an institution that is fully involved in their lives. If you see in any Salesian Don Bosco, all the fathers are 100% involved with the children during the recreation time, during the assembly time, during the afternoon lunch time. You'll see fathers coming around just to make sure that we are here and their lives matter to us. And our institution, okay, it is rooted in today's society with the critical. So we also tell the children what is right and what is wrong, what is to be done, what should not be done. We create a kind of a critical sense to choose good and avoid evil. It is an educational place that offers a vision of life founded on perennial values. What do I mean by perennial values? We have to create in the children perennial values. That is, there is a God who exists. I need to fear Him. I need to choose what is good and avoid evil. I need to respect every culture, every religion, and I need to treat every person as a person, irrespective of their background. These are the perennial values, I say. Temporal values means that I don't use bad words today, I don't hit a boy today. There are small, ordinary. The perennial values are something far greater. And a Salesian institution, a school, is a place where we educate the young people towards solidarity and peace. Okay, we teach them to embrace everyone. We teach them to respect everyone. We teach them to help everyone. We teach them to be in a place where there is peace and joy and respect for everyone. And Salesian environment is an environment of stewardship, respect for the different culture and religion. So we don't disrespect any religion. We teach them to love God. We teach them to love human beings. We teach them to take care of the nature. So it is a place of holistic formation. It is a life-giving environment, one holistic formation for young people with the names and faces. Okay, we teach them. Okay, it is an environment where we teach the children to grow in all the aspects of human life. So, what is the identity of a Salesian school? Any Salesian school, my dear teachers, please remember, including the fathers, Salesian fathers, and the teachers who work, you must remember, school is not a school for us. It is a welcoming home. Children should not run away looking at you. Children should flock to you, thinking that when I go to the school, I will be happy. When I go to the school, I will be able to learn good things. So it is a welcoming home, not a place of where they fight and they distract themselves with each other. It is a school or a college that prepares for life. Okay, not only we teach the subjects, but we teach them values and things so that they will face life in the future. And it is a place that gives God experience. Okay, not only they learn, it is a place where they learn to pray. It is a place where they learn to mingle with every religious people, and it is a place that gives them the real God experience. And the school, the Salesian Educational Institute, it is a playground for meeting friends and living joyfully. You see in the morning when the children enter our schools, how happily they enter. 99% of the children enter happily because they want to see a kind of a beautiful atmosphere where they can be joyfully present. So, Salesian education for the young, my dear friends. So, basically, I told you, becoming upright citizens and good Christians, we say, but I put it in a different term, upright citizens and a good religious people, whichever religions. Since it's a Salesian Christian school, I put it at Christians, but you can always make it as a upright citizens worthy of the nation and children worthy of God, any God for that matter. And we teach them here to be at the service of others. We have to allow them to get a family atmosphere, a friendly welcome, a regular way of meeting God on a personal and communitarian basis in the school. And loving kindness is the basis of our educational practice. So what is the practical tips now? Okay. So in a Salesian school, my dear teachers, cultivating love rather than fear. If any child has fear, there won't be any learning at all. So instead of cultivating fear among the children, learn to cultivate love, learning will be better. have a preventive attitude. That is called preventive system. Before the child could do anything bad, your presence makes them to prevent. Your presence makes them to avoid the evil. That is called the preventive attitude. And share the lives of the young. Okay, they have problems. They are also human beings. They also come from families. They also have moods and tensions and emotions. If you are able to share your lives with the young, if you are able to understand their lives, your teaching will be far, far better, my dear teachers. And encourage young people to do something very, very constructive and positive. Believe in the innate goodness of young people. Every young boy and a girl who enters into the Salesian institution, by nature, by birth, by their own conception, they are good. They are good. Maybe their social background and environment has made them to do little bad things, but they are basically good. If only you believe that they are good, I will be able to make them better. That's the best attitude that we can think of. And then involve young people as active participants. Don't just treat them like a people. You have information and you have to share it with them. Make sure that you are there with the children in order to make them participants. You learn with them, allow them to do. And finally, my dear teachers, pray for the young people. Pray for the young people. And in the class, pray with them. I'm not saying you have to pray some set of Christian prayers. No. Ask the children to close their eyes and then pray to God, whichever God they believe in. Make them sit and pray. Enjoy the silence and then get connected with God. And that's what I mean. Pray for the young people and pray with the young people. So there is one French educationalist who have gone through the Salesian system of education had to say this. In a world in which young people are betrayed, squeezed dry, crushed, exploited, the Lord has entrusted to you, Salesians, for us, Salesian teachers, a pedagogy, an educational system in which respect for the young person, for his greatness and his frailty, for his dignity as a son of God prevails. So basically, every boy or a girl who enters into the Salesian institution is a son and a daughter of God. If you have that mindset, you'll be able to understand the children in a better way. And then he says, this Salesian educational system, preventive system, he says, preserve it, renew it, rejuvenate it, enrich it with all the latest discoveries and adapt it to these 20th century innovations and their tragedies that Don Bosco could not know about. When Don Bosco prepared or formulated this system of education, he didn't know the evils of this present day. So he formulated a system for his time. Now we, his sons and daughters, his teachers, should be able to change according to the needs of the situations. And he says, but for heaven's sake, with your spirituality of assistance and presence, that is the system of education, preventive system, preserve it, change everything if necessary, lose all your houses, but preserve this treasure, forming in thousands of hearts the way to love. So, my dear teachers, I wish you all the best as Salesian teachers, because today we have just learned the present situation and the problems of the young people that they go through, and what are the sins of the Salesian teachers, and finally, what should be a Salesian school, and what is the relevance of the Salesian preventive system for today. So I wish you all the best, my dear teachers, for a wonderful experience in the Salesian institution. Thank you.